these oligarchs and the way that like the oligarchs have been punished globally. Do you think it's fair?
I mean,
like Roman Abramovich, right? The guy who owns Chelsea, he's a very famous oligarch. I don't know. There's all these sanctions being put on him. He can't sell his team. If he is going to sell a team, he has to go through the United Kingdom, and they have to approve of it. The team can't, I guess, even profit right now. There's all these like weird rules that are been put on. They have like limited amount of money that they can spend on even travel, etc.
They can't even sell
jerseys,
only season
tickets.
Yeah, only season ticket holders can come to games. They can't basically make any additional new money.
It feels to me like that these sanctions are happening to these Russian oligarchs in hopes that the oligarchs will put pressure on Putin. I mean, I don't think Abramovich has lived in Russia in years, decades maybe.
Yeah, I mean, this is like what people going after sponsors to try to get to the person.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's people look for the leverage points they have. Is it fair? Probably not on the sort of individual standpoint, but is it reasonable versus like our other options? Probably.
So basically, what are they doing? These are like the only people who we assume have access to Putin.
Yeah.
So they're trying to...
Not even access to, influence over maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I mean, I guess if you dig on any sports owner, they probably got some money doing some fucked up things. That's probably how you get that rich.
Every billionaire.
But if you got a problem with Russia and the way he capitalized was buying, all these properties or these oil companies for pennies on the dollar when the USSR fell, then it's like, all right, well, you're tied to this guy. That's how you got your power.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go after you if I'm going after him.
Well, you're not tied to him. That's the thing. It's not like he even made them oligarchs. He came after that. So if he made all these people oligarchs, I'd be like, okay, well, Putin put all these people in positions of power. They put him in power.
Yeah.
The oligarchs place Putin in there.
Yeah.
So it's like you're punishing Putin by punishing the oligarch. It weirdly seems unfair to me.
My understanding is they remain close. Is that wrong?
Well, they have to.
Right. So if you're thinking, if he still has, like, he got Putin elected, and then Putin helped him with his next acquisition of a big company, gave him tax breaks, all this stuff. It seems like you two are still tied closely together. I don't know about the other.
They're 100% tied closely together, and they're using it to influence. I guess what I'm saying is, like, it's not like Putin put these people in power. They were already billionaires. They were already oligarchs before Putin's even in power.
Right.
Putin does this fuck shit, and now you're taking it out on the people that are closest to him.
Right.
I don't know. It's weird. It weirdly seems unfair.
I think the lesson is if you look at like how tied in like London's like economy is to sort of like Russian oligarch money, it's kind of scary. So I think that's kind of the lesson that I take from this is be careful with who you get into business with. I think I got approached on a couple of NFT projects, thought about it, and then kind of was, it's like you can definitely sort of grab the bag, but it ties you into that forever.
Yeah.
And I think more and more when we compromise ideology for sort of economic gain, there's always the price to bear. And so it's like those guys made some compromised decisions. And is it fair? No. But are they responsible for those decisions and the affiliations that they have? Yeah.
Is it a compromised decision?
It depends on who you ask. I
think it's a compromised decision to maintain the power, but like buying a oil business from the government at pennies on the dollar, I don't think that there's anything compromising about that. Anybody would do that.
Right. But you also knew that this was part of the risk that eventually could come due. Like this wasn't unforeseeable. Didn't mean it was likely or you didn't know when, but if you get a pit bull and it bites somebody, like you were hoping not. You were trying to train against it. So you were planning against it. Right. But it doesn't mean you're not responsible for the decision that you ultimately took on.
Meaning them putting Putin in power.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But also, it's an economic war, right? Like, I don't know if you can necessarily search for fairness in an economic war.
That's true.
Yeah.
And can I tell you, as a sports fan, it's weirdly kind of justice if you are a fan of like the poor team, because it seems like all soccer is the richest team wins all the championships. And I think I read Chelsea hadn't won a championship in almost 50 years. Then this guy shows up, puts $2 billion into the team, and they won 5 since 2003. So as like a team, if you root for like a poverty franchise, you're looking at them like, you know what? Fuck you. Now you know what it's like for the teams who don't have billionaires who got their money through these means. And I know they're not the only ones. All the good teams are like that. But at least one team went down.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah. I don't know why. I just feel like it's I mean, I don't know why I even care about like billionaires. Like they're
Your
going to figure it out. They're
contrarian
going to
views
be
are in
fine.
conflict with each other.
No, it's. I'm not even trying to be contrarian. I just think it's like undeserved. It's like it's the same reason why I don't want people shitting on like the Russian people. It's like they don't want to be part of this. They want nothing to do with this.
Right.
Like
Okay,
when
fair
I
enough,
found out like Tchaikovsky was going to be removed from this opera or whatever in where was it, Wales or something like that, and I'm just like, what the fuck did Tchaikovsky have to do with any of this?
Yeah, but Tchaikovsky didn't get Putin put in power. You know what I mean? If this guy was one of the guys that got Putin put in power and is still tied to him,
Right.
I'm with you on Tchaikovsky.
Right.
I understand more why Abramovich is going to get punished.
To be fair, they thought that they could. I'm just really interested in this part of like history, but like they thought that they could control Putin, and then they were wrong.
His pit bull analogy works perfectly.
The symbolic stuff is stupid, right? Like, oh, we're not using Russian composers in the symphony.
Yeah.
Like,
We all agree
taking
that's dumb.
Yeah,
Performative.
Right.
They took out Poutine because it sounded like Putin.
Oh yeah, the French. Well, not even French. The Quebecois, like the fries with like the cheese and gravy on it. They're not calling it poutine anymore because it sounds too much like Putin.
But we all
what
think
the fuck is that doing?
that money is ultimately the thing that drives everything
Right.
in the world. So I think fighting an economic war is just like kind of getting right to the point of what we all kind of think is controlling things anyways.
You're saying modern warfare is basically just, it should be fought economically.
Yeah.
But it's like bombing a country. Like we bombed Japan. What did any of those people in Nagasaki have to do with, you know, the World War II or whatever?
I mean, the countries that said that we're at war with one another.
Exactly. And if the
It is what
Russians
it is.
and Russia's like, yo, we're at war with Ukraine and NATO. It's like, all right, anyone that's affiliated is involved in this economic war.
But did Russia say that yet?
Bombing
They
a
didn't.
country economically
They said
gives
they're
the
at war
people a
with NATO.
chance to rebel without being dead.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
It creates hardship that motivates them for making a change that's like led by the people that actually live there without being dead first. And obviously, you know, starvation and the lack of medical supplies and all those things can be a big issue. But if doesn't mean it's perfect. There's no such thing, I think, as a surgical strike, really.
Yeah.
Everything has collateral damage and it's more complicated than we can imagine.
And it's better that collateral damage exists within the billionaire class of Russian oligarchs and not just the everyday people who are barely making it.
Right. Like, and when we complain about, oh, well, they're just, you know, we're doing this just to try to raise the stock price or this to this. If we all sort of, if money comes to the root of the motivations behind all the things we complain about, that if we actually have like a big escalating problem, let's just use money.